Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to your Monday morning Sonder Social. It's so great to have you on July 14th. Welcome, everybody. Thanks for being in the chat this morning, or if you're not in the chat and just hanging out with us, that's great. I am Jennifer Krippner. I'm dialing in from northern Minnesota. It's so good to be with you today. In the chat, I have you have Team Jennifer. So Jennifer is dialing in from Texas. If you want to pop on and say hello. We'd love to have you.
Good morning, friends. So glad to be here with you. Let me know if you need anything along the way this morning, and I'll do my best to help.
Yay, Team Jennifer in the house. We're so excited to have you, and it's great to be with you again. Looks like a lot of people here this morning. Great things to look forward to this week. We always love to say looking forward to things. Oh, Kelly Watson, you're heading up to northern Minnesota this week. Wave as you come through. Love to have you pass by. It's great to see people here today. Kelly's looking forward to a haircut. Trixie, you're looking forward to doing some good reading. Suzanne's having a beach trip. And Marianne, you're racing across the state doing ragba. And Cheryl, it looks like you have your grandson's birthday today. Anybody else having anything fun? Please just share in the chat. And really great that you're all here with us. So continue to share. If you are sharing in the chat, make sure you set your chat to everyone. If you would like to share with everybody, if you would like to just have the host and panelists, that just goes to Team Jennifer, and that's fine too. This is your time to be here today, however you choose to. If you want to just be with us and listen along, you can do that too. No need to share in the chat if you don't feel like you want to do that today. So welcome. It's great to have you. Good to be here. Let's get started and see how we can spend the next hour together. I know it always goes so fast, and I really can't believe we're halfway through July already. It just is wild to think that it's July 14th. So just a reminder that we have our community guidelines. They're posted on the Silk and Sonder website. Jennifer and I are not employees of Silk and Sonder. We're just here like you as members, supporting this team and this great community. So just remember, be kind and courteous of each other. We're really not here to talk about products or accessories. We don't know about your subscription, so if you have questions about that, you can email hello@silkandsolder.com. We're really here just to support and help you elevate your journey with Silk and Sonder. So we're really excited again just to be here with you. And this month's theme is all about independence. And so we're really here to help you explore, what does independence mean to you, and how might you explore maybe leaning into this topic and this theme a little bit more than maybe you have in the past. I know independence to me means a lot of things, and I really love independence, and it's been really a confidence booster for me, and I'll share a little bit about that in our mind map this morning. And so we're going to dive deep into that. If it doesn't resonate with you, that's fine. You don't need to have anything about the theme support you through your journal, and that's okay. You can change the theme, and that's the beauty of Silk and Sonder, is every week is a new week, every day is a new day, and this journal is for you, and you can absolutely make this work for you in your situation. So let's get started. Here's our agenda for this morning. We have a mind map that we do every week and every month. And so it's just an extra journal prompt. It is not in your journal, so it's something fun that we as facilitators get to share with you. We also like to reflect on the past week with our rosebud and thorn before we begin setting up our new week. And then we will work on our setup pages. And so I have a little bit different order this morning as far as our weekly setup pages, but it's mid-month and we'll dive into that shortly. All right. So let's get started with our mind map this week. Everybody ready for that? All right. So if this, right, Jennifer, in the chat is saying if it's your first social, we do a kind of a deep dig into the monthly theme. So we're going to explore different facets of independence. So each prompt will give one new one each week, encourages kind of this deep reflection on really helping us understand our unique path. This week, we're going to really embrace solitude and what that means, and then kind of championing our own thoughts and fostering our own self reliance. And we all have it in us. So let's explore this a little bit further. So we are in week 2, and that's okay if you didn't do week 1, just start off with week 2. And so I'm going to read this, and we'll go into a few examples in the next couple slides. And then I will come back to that during a song and we'll give you some time to reflect on it. So for week 2, here is the prompt. Consider a time when you spend time alone. What did you learn about yourself in that time of solitude? Did you discover new strengths? Did you identify areas of growth or gain clarity on a particular issue? If spending time alone is challenging for you, what is one way you could intentionally create a moment of solitude this week and observe your thoughts and feelings without judgment? That's a big prompt. So let's again break it down a little bit. Consider a time when you spent time alone. What did you learn about yourself in solitude? Did you discover new strengths and identify areas of growth or clarity? So did you enjoy it? Was it good for you? Or perhaps maybe it's challenging for you. And what is one way that you could intentionally create a moment this week where you could maybe think about this from maybe a non-judgmental point of view? So let's break it down a little bit more. Maybe that prompt isn't resonating with you, so we have an alternate one. And Jennifer just put in the chat that you could create your mind map maybe on a blank page. I gave you some examples here, the definition page, the quote page, weekly scratch pad, or maybe you don't want it in your journal. Maybe you just want a separate notebook, or maybe you want to just use a sticky note. Or perhaps, what does personal independence look like you in your day-to-day life? Is it about setting boundaries or taking initiative or doing something new on your own? Perhaps you can choose one small way to practice independence this week or reflect on how it felt. So here's some examples on how people set up their mind maps for those of you that are new. For me, I like to use the scratch pad. So this is the second week in July, so I'm using the scratch pad for this weekly spread. And so you can see others use just a note, a blank page in their journal. They use a star, draw a flower or a house. And then this person did a cup of coffee with ice cubes, so an iced coffee. And the right-hand side one, Jennifer, used her driver's license and drew out around the driver's license. So she had a nice, great rectangle option there. I'm going to go back to mine example. You can see in the one thing box each day, I'm going to draw or journal about an example of where I had some solitude time and what it meant to me. But I really cherish my solitude moments. A lot of times that's when I find my best clarity. It's where I feel the most creative and confident. If I can just carve out that time, whether it's 10 minutes or 30 minutes a day of intentional time, I really feel like that's the time where I can really be kind of at my best self in my thinking to get clarity about either my goals. And a lot of times I really find it's my best time when I'm doing my Silk and Sonder journaling. Now, I have to be very clear with myself about not feeling guilty about that time or judging myself if I'm doing it right or if it's like, am I taking time away from my husband or other things that I should be doing, like cleaning or dishes or work time. So it's that balance of time for me and doing what's important to me. Otherwise, it can be a guilty pleasure, I should say. But when I do carve it out and make that intentional time, then I know that I can really find that clarity and that creativity and build that confidence within me. So um, I encourage you to think about this coming week where you can find those moments of solitude and not be judgmental about it. All right, so I am going to give you a song, and I will go through a couple of these examples, and I'd love to hear from you in the chat when you're done journaling about this prompt, how you might find some solitude and what it might look like for you, or if you struggle with it, and we're here to help support you through that. So I'll be back here in just a few minutes. All right, welcome back. Thank you for the great ideas in the chat. I love the idea of the shower, Yamini. That's wonderful. It is a great solitude place to just think and settle, and the kind of the meditation of the water falling and just listening and thinking to the water is great. I agree with a lot of you who say you're significant other, your spouse is home, retired perhaps, or there all the time, and not having that guilt or that thought of somebody else always being around. So either staying up late or getting up early to have that moment of time. My husband's retired and here all the time, which is lovely and wonderful, but it is hard to find and steal away those moments. And I always think to myself is, why is that hard? Like, yes, they're here all the time, but why can't we have solitude in those moments too? So yes, it's an interesting balance to find, and I hope you all over this next week maybe think about that a little bit differently as we bring attention to this independence and this solitude without judgment. Um, how might you find that different balance to find that time alone when you have somebody else in the house all the time? So don't be hard on yourself. Don't think about that time as something that you're not deserving of. So be good to yourself about that. And so we'll dig into that again a little bit deeper in your life here in a moment about how you can create that time in your life. All right, so let's turn to, I lost my page number here. Thinking back onto last week, it is page 36. So let's go back to 36 and do our rosebud and thorn check-in. So if you haven't been here before and done this with us, before we begin to set up our next week, we like to think about what went well last week, and that's a rose. A bud, what could be emerging or bloom, something that we're looking forward to this coming week. And then a thorn, what didn't go well or what's challenging or stressful for you, or what could turn from a thorn into a bud, perhaps. Again, we'd love for you to share in the chat. I'll share mine. I'm going to start at the bottom. I'm going to start with that thorn. I'm going to get it out of the way. I found out last week I've been having some hip issues, or what I thought, I didn't really know what it was, but I was having some like pain. And so I went to the orthopedic doctor and they told me that I need to have a double hip replacement. And I'm like, well, I'm 56 years old. I shouldn't need to have my hips replaced already. But they're both bone on bone, and I'm not sure how that's going to fit into my life, to be honest. So I have some decisions. Well, Jennifer O told me, no, my decision's already made. I guess the decision needs to be made of like when I'm going to do this. So I need to have hip replacement surgery. So that is a big thorn in both of my sides. My bud, I have very important work meeting coming up a half hour after we're done today. So please send good vibes to me or prayers if you do prayers. I have a big meeting at 10:30 today, Central Time, with the big important outcomes. So I am thinking about that. And then on Saturday, my daughter and son-in-law, they built a new house, and we had a very big housewarming party on Saturday night, and they had about 125 people and a food truck. So that was really a wonderful event, and was so fun to see them be celebrated and adored by so many people. So there's my rosebud and my interesting thorn. So thank you all for your well wishes and thoughts and prayers on all of that. I will keep you updated on how things progress or not progress. So I'm going to play a song. I would absolutely love for you all to share and write down your rosebud and thorn for the week. And we'd like to be in community with you as you share. All right. I will be right back in a little bit. All right, welcome back after sharing your rosebud and thorns. My goodness, I'm so sorry about the loss of your pet, Kara, and your brother-in-law. My goodness, so many tough times. Also, some really good things to celebrate too. Is just I love this community to be able to share these things and to be able to support one another um, so thank you so much for sharing. Given our time, I'm going to move us on to setting up our week. So let us turn to page. We're going to skip all the way over to page 42, 43, and 44. As you can see on the screen, I would love us to think about how we're going to set up our weekly spread. I've got some examples, and I'd like us to think about our independence and thinking about our mind map and what we just went through and how we might carve out some time over the next week and what areas we might use on these pages to do just that. Because I think we all found value as we went through the mind map that it's important to find some solitude because it fuels our creativity, it fuels our independence, it fuels our confidence. So let's find where we might put that in our day. I love this design here. There's some stickers, but some different colors. And it just looks like it's a great way that it supports this person's ability to plan their week. So here's a couple examples. The one thing box, you could use this week and just try it to note the way you are demonstrating independence that day. Or you could, on the bottom, plan your week and journal about how your goals and plans support your independence. So a couple different ways that you could focus on that as an example. Otherwise, I just have some ways to share different people's setup. So perhaps something on here will inspire you to think about the way that you would like to maybe set your week up, and maybe something in here inspires you to think about independence as well. So love the little shading and blocking on the left-hand side, the writing on the right-hand side, and looks like they're using the one thing box here as affirmations. Mindset is everything. Show up for yourself, or just breathe. Maybe just one word. Maybe share in the chat how you're using these areas. Are you using it for your schedule, for affirmations? Are you using it for journaling or daily rituals? And then here's a couple more examples. So they're using the whole spread, not just by day, but for the whole week as one. So I think that's a really unique example as well. And then this is an older version of the spread as well. And then here, this is a really neat way to use your scratch pad as a key. And then each day has the scat or the five senses here. So you could do the scat is starfish. How did I make a difference today? Compliment, affirmation, gratitude, and thank you. And then at the bottom, five senses. So sight, hear, touch, taste, smell. And Jennifer's putting that in the chat too, if that's something that you'd like to track each day of the week. And then something that I've used in the past, and I really like to use it, sometimes I use it in the habit activity section, is getting your daily dose of happiness. And this person is using it in their scratch pad. And I find this super helpful. And Jennifer's putting that in the chat as well. But your dose, so DOSE stands for dopamine for motivation, oxytocin for connection, serotonin for boosting your mood, and endorphins to ease your stress. And there's different activities that you can do to support each of those areas. And so you could just choose something. So you could listen to music for motivation, connect with friends for connection, practice gratitude to boost your mood, and exercise to ease stress. So those are some great activities. I'm going to go through these slides and give you a little bit of time to set this section up. All right. What did you guys think about that? It looks like it helped to go through some of these pages. I know it's easy to get stuck in the same way or you're doing it all the time, or maybe you don't even use these pages. I know they're some of the pages that I use the most. I really like to use it, even though I have my Outlook calendar for work. I still use this in a way that is very helpful to me. I like to look back on them. So I hope you found a little inspiration and glad that you use them. So let's go back and turn back to page 40 and 41. And let's really dig into how we're going to set this week up from the standpoint of how do we want to feel, our goals, our to-dos, habit activities, and then meal plan, mind, body, health, shopping list, and I am loving. Are we ready to get started on the details? All right, let's do this. So page 40, 41. We're going to do this in a few buckets. So I want to feel weekly goals, to-dos, habits and activities, and then we'll switch to the B side, as some of us call it, where we'll focus on meal plan and then mind, body, health, shopping list, and I am loving. All right. So let us know in the chat, how do you want to feel this week? I put some words on the screen here. Um, excuse me. And feel free to share in the chat. How do you want to feel? These are some great words here. Again, though, you don't have to use just one word, and I have some examples of what that looks like. And then how can they connect to your goals? So look at this one on the right that was posted yesterday in Sonder Club. They want to feel stable, but they also put their goals in the same box as how they want to feel. So they did Monday through Sunday and then the dates, and then they put different categories and goals of how they want to feel this week. So I think it's very cool example of how you can really put a lot into that one box to maximize the most out of this box. So really unique example here, and I'll come back to that because I'll show her whole page there as well. So how do you all want to feel? Accomplished, presence, stable. Here's some other examples: content, self-love, more of, less of. You can use several words. You can use phrases, affirmations, stickers, pictures. You can draw something, something you want to focus on. Maybe you want to feel independent. You want to feel harmony in your body. This week you focused on calm with goals, rest, several health appointments, back on routine. Thanks, Beth, for sharing. Chris, you want to feel intentional, determined, focused on your own success. Those are all great. Whoops, sorry, I went too far there. Others. June was peaceful. July has been a lot of fireworks. I love that. Freedom. You want to be able to step away from work next week, and which you haven't been able to do in 3 years. So that is good. Mindful every week this month, Holly. Thank you for that. Janine, 1% better. Intentional, focused, and healthy. I love that as well. Thank you for sharing. Can you continue to share in the chat as we move along? Um, let's talk about our weekly goals. It says 3 goals. You don't have to use 3 goals. You can use 1, you can use 5. It's up to you on how your week goes. Again, I'd love to share this page that was posted yesterday. It's pretty full, but I love how this is working for this person. Again, they want to feel stable, so they use their how I want to feel section with their goals. And then they added 3 more goals in the goals section, but they also added their morning and evening routine in that same section. So they're really maximizing the use of this page for them this week. In their to-dos, they also have that divided into 5 sections. So they're really using and maximizing that. And their habits and activities, they put care and love. So they're just renaming that section into something that's really working well for them. So I wanted to share that example. Again, connecting how you want to feel to your goals. This person wants to feel mellow, So they're going with the mind, body, and spirit, and then attaching their goals to make sure that they're able to feel mellow and motivated. They want to feel motivated, so they put in their four goals, and I love how they divided that into read, write, move, and work. So how are you going to use that this week? Powerful, so three goals for home, work, and self. This person wants to feel calm, confident, capable, and courageous. So they divided their goals into that as well. I am confident, I am capable, I am calm. And then on the right, I am calm. Find moments of calm in work and home. And a couple more examples here as well. The one on the right is really all about repurposing. So they repurposed the feelings section with a quote, and then they really needed to track their expenses there on the right. And then to-dos. I love a good check mark. So I love how on the upper left-hand side, they did this check mark and then the date that it was done. So they're actually attaching a date to it. The top right and the bottom right is more about the Eisenhower matrix, where they're doing and deciding, delegating, or deleting. So they must have a lot of tasks that they need to get done. So they need to really organize them that way. Otherwise, just a little bullet list of things that they need to accomplish for the week. And then finally, just another few examples of different ways to repurpose it. You could do a declutter bingo, you could do a quote, or you could do a to-be list. How do you want to show up for yourself or for others? And it's just how to be versus how to do. And so I am going to give you some time to work on this page, and I'll go back through these examples, and I'll see you back here shortly. All right. Looks like we're going to keep some goals simple this week, but yet focused. Love that. And yes, Marion, we hope your ride is amazing this coming week. We will be thinking about you quite a bit. So we wish you all well with that. Let's turn down to our habit activity. Just got a few examples here. Pretty important, though, to think about how we focus this week on our habits and activities. And again, you don't have to fill in all of the lines. You can choose a couple. You can choose to do Monday through Friday if you have a long weekend. As you can see in the top one, you can just X them out. You can choose to focus on maybe a theme of self-care or care and love, like we saw on the previous one. Or you can keep doing the same ones that you've been doing and just keep doing them each week to get really those habits built in. Sometimes people like to even put on complete your habit tracker, complete your mood tracker, things like that that are in other parts of your journal. So there's really all kinds of things that you can do on this habit and tracker. The bottom one in the middle, I love that they just put over that, just it's a reflection section. Maybe habits and activities aren't things that you're wanting to track this month. So maybe it's just a reflection page and you're not going to be tracking. Or maybe you don't even want to do goals. So you're just gonna, you can see in the bottom left, you're just gonna use a little scribble line and put in colors instead of numbers. Or perhaps you want to use the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, which is you're going to journal 5 times, you're going to practice gratitude 4 times that week, strength training 3 times, yoga twice, and walk outside once. So those are some examples. I'm going to give you just a short song to think about how you want to set up your habit tracker, and I'll be back here in a brief moment. All right. Hopefully, you're all busy filling out your habit and tracker and activities. Thanks for sharing, Alice and Peg. Water up, Bible study, veggie time, prayer, exercise, slow and easy, move in nature, connect with somebody, join in group activity, quiet time to rest. I love it. Thanks for sharing. As you continue to work on that, maybe for the rest of the day, let's think about our meal plan or how we might repurpose our meal plan. We've got lots of ways that people like to use the meal plan. For me, I get migraines occasionally, and so I always like to track my food intake. My symptom tracker, I repurpose the mood tracker for my symptom tracker, so you can see there how I use those two together. On the right-hand side, I'll come back to that, but you can always grab a screenshot of different ways, but I'll walk through some of those ways that people like to repurpose. Frequently, people use the 7 types of rest. There's 7 days on the meal tracker or the meal planner, so it's a great way to really look at how to repurpose this. So each day you get to look at the different 7 types of rest. So Jennifer will put that in the chat on how you can use that with those physical, mental, sensory, creative, emotional, social, and spiritual categories. Different ways are you could use like symptom or health trackers, glucose or different symptoms. How about a daily debrief, things that have happened during your day, daily scripture tracking. You could do school homework or lesson plan reminders. How about the GLAD? That's grateful, learned, achieved, and delighted. So a nice reflection. Those are great ways as well to capture your week. Um, I love this one on the top left. Notice the water droplets. They're color coded. So they could be different ways that you really think about how you're kind of using your affirmations or thinking about how often that you look at the affirmation or you read the affirmation out loud. You could use sticky notes as ways of journal prompts and responses. You could use it as a chore list and print something and put in your journal. The other thing you could do is appointments or Sonder socials, wardrobe tracking. Let's say you're going to go travel across the state of Iowa. Perhaps you're going to use this as a way of packing for your suitcase. How about a checklist? If you're going to check it off, all the things that you need to get done. Maybe you have a very big to-do list and you need to use this. A couple more examples, a wellness planner. How about all the things that you needed to do this week to really get focused on your wellness? Again, this is the 7 types of rest this person is using. Here is one, feels and meals. So not exactly what you're using, but how do you feel when you're eating? What are the things that you're feeling? A self-care plan, and exactly the word of the day, or perhaps the wordle, and then a weekly reflection. So I'm seeing a lot of things in the chat about the 20-minute tidy every day. I love that. Um, Declutter challenge, meal plan track movement in 2 categories, intentional and functional. I like that. And I'm sorry to hear, Holly, that you're recovering from a double ankle break and surgery. That must be really difficult. Oh, I hope that continues to go well for you. Marion, I love that you're writing your 3 positives for the day. That is fabulous. Thank you for sharing that. So this is good. So I'm going to just share a little song. Well, let's see. Let's keep moving on this and then we can keep um, our examples going and then we can work on the setup. So mind, body, health, shopping list, and I am loving some great examples on this page. Can be used for daily affirmations, appointments, um, letting it go, outfits or Wordle plans. I love the social check-in or connections, as some people call it. Um, Otherwise, just a plain old shopping list. That's how I like to use it as well, or bingo, um, tracking your calorie intake. So many great examples. Here is your, up on the top left is your home um, cleaning list or by day, different workouts, different ways to take care of yourself. Again, more shopping lists. How about if you just want to put in a quote in your shopping list, or maybe track your weight, or I am loving air conditioning. I love that as well. And then a couple more examples here of shopping lists. Bingos are great. Your awesome bingo or birthday week bingo. Energy givers. I love that. Being able to look at what are your energy givers, your errand list, and what are you loving this week as well. Um, and then Jennifer shared this with me once. A lot of times in our mind body health list, we put in things that are self-soothing, bubble bath, spa treatments, shopping, things like that. But maybe we really need to shift to whatever our self-care items. So things that are really better for us in the long term. So leaving that with you for now. It looks like we have about 3 minutes left. I'm going to play just a short song, and I will be back here, and we can close for the day. As you can see, we're coming to the end of our time together. It's been such a pleasure to have you with us this morning. Jennifer and I love our Monday mornings with you all. Just a reminder this week, tomorrow actually, Meha has a mid-year reset event. It's a free check-in event with a demo of the personalized coaching as well at the end. So mid-year reset, align your goals and your energy and your action. She'd love to see you tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern. Jennifer will share in the chat how to register for that. So we'd love to see you tomorrow night. Also, in a couple weeks, she also has an exclusive event using the Big Five to personalize your growth journey with Megan Malone from Truity. If you have taken any personal assessments, tests, Megan and Meha will walk through what those are all about. And so that will be amazing to have that availability of Megan and Meha together on Thursday, July 24th at looks like 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. It looks like it's wrong. It should be 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So those are in there. They will be recorded, so you can see that. Our time together today was recorded. That will be up this afternoon, so you can rewatch what we just had, so you can finish setting up your week together. Again, if you haven't looked into the personalized coaching plan, feel free to do that. And then here's my playlist. And remember, it's midway through the month, so you could also turn to page 39 sometime this week and fill out the currently page. We'd just love to know. And if you'd like to post all of your pages in Sonder Club, we would love to have you um, also do that because we love to see what you do. So again, it's been wonderful to be with you. Have a great week. We'll see you again next Monday. Take care, everybody.
Don't give me dark days, I already had those. I'm just trying to figure out how to be myself right now. I don't wanna lay low, hiding in the shadows. So I wake up, I get out of bed.